Hi, I'm Ross TSU. You can
by the look at the...
As if another month has come around. As if. As if. Welcome to my loft. My name is Gaming Loft. I'm joking. I'm Ross TSU. Now, I know that would have been something really difficult to understand because Lofty doesn't look like me. And that's a credit to him. But welcome everyone. Watch Ginger in with the first. Welcome Watch Ginger. Oops. Quack chatting, but he's a part of the judges. Sir Slippers, welcome. Grazer, great, come on Grazer. You know better than this. You're in the panel. You're going to be saying hi soon. Wamp, if that isn't a blast from my social past. Wamp, welcome on in, buddy. How are you doing? And Mrs. Q. We got 2 extra viewers with Mrs. Q. This is crazy. That's how I have to look at it. How's everyone doing? How is everyone's evening? Can you believe it's been a whole 4 weeks? And I've amended the entire office. I was facing this way first, so you guys seen my beige walls this way. But now I'm facing toward the corner of my room, so you can see my... Well, you can't, but my door is there, so you could have seen my door. 20 gifted subs, and you get to see the door. It's not really worth looking at, but if you want to look, there's a little bit of my door. I've messed everything up for a joke about my door. I am, as you would say, a pro streamer. But today, if you haven't read the title and come on in because I've linked you somewhere, as Wamp has done, Wamp is a true and honest viewer of mine, welcome to episode 4 of Creators of the Doughnut Table, where we'll be going through some discussions with you about maximizing your content. Let me just quickly close my window because I got so many fans outside. They're all there with pitchforks and lights and they're like, oh, you're so good. It's a big distraction. Really big distraction. Now, when I put up a link through my Discord, let me just tell you something. I didn't expect anyone to turn up. The Council of Rosses assemble. This is just, yeah. Welcome, Riley. Yes, welcome, Raven. Thank you for coming on in. Set a lurk, grab a cup of tea. We're going to be going through some hard-hitting questions about where we should be in the creative industry with first, maximizing your content. Because as some of you might know, there's a lot of people out there who don't really want to go above and beyond with their content creation journey. Now, I feel like having this eye contact leveling is really weird because you're here, and I want to make sure that you know that you're valuable, but I'm also reading you here. You see my problem? But welcome on in regardless. Also, Raven isn't a first-time chatter. When have you chatted in this chat before? Oh my, some time ago. Back in March last year. Crazy. Use the NVIDIA always eye contact filter. You know what? I did test that, but I felt like it was a bit over me for doing that. Plus, this isn't my channel, so I'm behind your door. You don't want to be behind. Trust me, with what I do in here, you don't want to be behind that door. Let's put it that way. Feel that. I will say before we move on to the festivities with bringing on the other gentleman, I just want to put into here that thank you, Ross TSU, for dropping a 14-month Tier 1 sub for 14 months in a row. You, sir, are a legend, and you deserve all the good things coming at you. Santa will bring you big things. Santa will... From the bottom of my heart, you're already a mod. Listen, thank you so much for your dedicated commitment to Streamseed and our journey by lining our pockets, so this will go towards my crippling KFC addiction. Did you just sub to yourself? No. I subbed to Streamseed, but Streamseed just happened. I don't know what... Wamp with the Prime subby. Thank you. Thank you for supporting Streamseed. Thank you for supporting our journey. If y'all don't know so far, you can find out the latest and greatest with Streamseed by visiting the website. And if you don't know the website, then there's going to be a problem. Go to the website. Just have a look. Take a sniff. It's all brand new. Now, I don't have the sound alerts, and I feel like that's my bad. I don't have them here. If they're playing, they shouldn't be, because I moved to OBS, and I don't have the facilities to make that work. I also don't have the raid thing there, even though there should be something there. I did put it there. I feel ripped off. I'm going to have to refund you. But welcome on in, everyone. Take a mic. Thanks for coming in, my friend. Thank you for lurking with us. Wamp, again, thank you for the Prime, my friend. That should have gone to me, but we'll have a conversation after. See that violent rumble? That was for you. Your arrow is enough. Trust me, there's a lot of things going on here, but we're going to slowly go towards our three guests. As I said, maximizing your content will be the topic of today. I feel like if you guys want to get involved, ask any questions in the chat. Periodically, as we go through the conversation, we'll be picking up your questions, if not by myself, then by the guests, and then they can then go through some of the answers if you happen to have something that might be on your mind. It doesn't have to be with maximizing your content specifically. If you've got any other creative space industry question, we will answer them as we go through the day. These usually happen for around an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how the questions come about, but we'll see how we go. So I'm going to unmute them, and I hope they're behaving, because the last time I did this, they were all waving, and it gave me a dose of anxiety that I wasn't prepared for. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to slowly introduce them, and then we're going to allow them to have their one moment of fame where they can actually sell themselves, because I believe they can. I can just give you a normal one. This is why you're my favorite, Wamp. Jat's not here, so she can't defend herself. We'll go through. So, everyone is ready. I mean, there's smiles. They're muted still, but someone's showing off their Funko Pops, but we'll go ahead and give them a quick little unmute. If I use my Stream Deck, I know, posh.
Hello.
Gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
We're all live, so I would like you to be respectful. That's it. That was basically for Quack. Oh. Alex and Grazer, I know you guys are going to have a wonderful time here. As I said, I'm going to give you guys an introduction each, and you guys can just sell yourselves to the chat. Please don't feel like you're going to be not flooding us. Give us all the information about you. We'll start with Alex. Alex, welcome to the show. Give us an intro about you. We're starting with you, Alex. We're diving on in.
Sure. Hi, I'm Alex Can't Play, also known as Alex, and I'm sort of a video producer / director, so I make short films. I also do lots of like business films, anything editing wise, basically self-taught for like 13 odd years. Mad, I know. I also stream lots of like different variety of games, and just sort of I'm here to just sort of figure out the vibe. You know, I haven't figured this out, and I'm just sort of, you know, but streaming. You should see my streaming setup. It's all basically just botched to wires. It's great fun. But like, yeah, no, I make a lot of videos. I like Doctor Who. If you can't see the two massive posters in my mirrors there, and I'm basically trying to make as much content as I can manage myself, and also trying to figure out how the hell I'm doing that. So, you know,
you've joined the right panel. This is the perfect. Hopefully, this will be the perfect amount of information that you'll receive to maximize that. But before we move on, can you play? Is what Mr. Slippers is asking. I don't think we can go forward without answering that question.
Can I play what?
Well, your title is you can't play. Alex can't play. We need to know, is that false?
Sometimes.
Right. I think that's where we can sort of like level that answer on. I'm happy we've done that. Now, because I dislike Quack, we're going to go with Grazer next. So Grazer, feel free to give yourself a shout out at the end of the stream. You guys will put your links somewhere.
Already, I love it. This is,
feel free to put yourself forward there, mate.
Put myself forward. Don't want to do that. No, hi. So I'm Graham, aka Grazer J. Outside of doing a full-time job, which I kind of enjoy. I am a DJ, producer, streamer, dart player. Yeah, I like to keep myself very, very busy. So my DJing sort of production side is more the harder side of electronic dance music. So your hard house, your hard trance, that sort of thing. Gaming-wise, I'll play pretty much anything. Playing a lot of XCOM at the moment. I don't know what it is. I know that game is like, what, 8 years old at this point now, but I've just discovered it, so I don't usually do turn-based games, strategy games, but I'm really enjoying that. When I'm not making all of that content, I have a 4-year-old black Labrador dog who constantly needs walking and fussing, which is just a hardship in life. I'm also married to the lovely Sarah, and yeah, recently, I apologise for the fact that you can possibly take shots to see my boiler. I moved house a couple of months ago, and I still haven't actually sorted everything yet.
I think I cut that out of it. Actually, I think you're okay.
Hey, well, my boiler. I like it's.
I can show it if you want. I'm happy to show your boiler.
I'm going to go see this boiler. No. The reason why I'm proud of this boiler is because I can hear it, so I know when it doesn't work. So I know when I've got a problem, so I'm not going to freeze.
No, that's fair enough. But thank you for the introduction. Now, that's probably all we need to be discussing there today. So, right, if we move... No. Quack.
Yeah, the fact that I am proud of my boiler.
we could have just ended it there. But Quack, would you like to introduce yourself? You probably are a man with no introduction, but please give us you. In full.
Yeah,
Come on.
You ready now? You ready now?
I'm so ready.
Yeah, are you so ready? Are you?
I'm so ready.
Oh my gosh.
Right, so I was a Ross fan, but now that's completely changed. I'm Quack McClan. I'm a variety streamer. I'm trying to be part of the furniture here, but it's not working yet. I'm not as good. I'm getting outdone by a boiler. So yeah, even when Ross is trying to skip me, I can hear Mrs. Quack in the other room laughing her head off. So I've already lost this fight. So let's just dive straight in, shall we?
I'm so glad you're taking that with so much grace. Now, at least Mrs. Q and I know we've got a common ground at putting you a bit further down. But you might have an opportunity to blow everyone's mind today, so maybe some people will come your way. So, as I said, maximizing your content. Gentlemen, if I could just go around the room, when creating content, which I think is great here, with Alex producing his own movies and whatnot, Grazer doing his music, and then Quack doing whatever he does, I think we do a variety of content between us that I think we can really grasp different types of genres. So, Alex, when doing your own content, is there only one form that you upload it to, or do you stretch across platforms? How was your normal process in a sort of bite-sized way?
So I'm mainly on YouTube. I have been on YouTube since 2009, I think. So I've been doing it a few years. I just reached one of the channel's 10-year anniversary. and I had multiple channels. I've tried branding so many times, and it's either it's either failed or I've just not put enough love and effort into it. So mainly I'm a YouTube guy, but I am trying to find sort of new platforms to sort of spread out, because I'm making films and whatever. So trying to get the word out there in an already very saturated market is sort of very hard, especially today as well.
But with you finding it difficult, is it a case of you don't know where to stretch that to, or is it just a case of time? I don't think many of us will sort of know where the whole editing through movies comes from. Creating game content is mainly just cut and clip, but how would the sort of movie editing go?
Oh, it takes months.
I don't even envy you.
It takes. I'm currently working on a new film, and we've only just started pre-production, and that was started about 6 months ago.
Wow.
And we have so much more to do. It's going to take a good couple of years. That's why I don't upload, because I put so much effort into like making films and trying to put like a decent amount of like money and ideas, and trying to get like my friends who are also content creators together and sit down and try and really narrow it down. And then we all go afterwards. Oh, it's terrible. Let's do it again. We hate it all. Let's do it again. So yeah, I think it's a sort of a balance of like, on YouTube, it's discoverability. It's trying to get discovered, which is hard. And then with filmmaking taking literally years to do anything with, it's, how to expect growth when you don't upload ever?
Yeah.
So it's I wanna make art, but then I can't also get discovered because I'm not editing, because I'm taking months to produce something.
Yeah, it sounds like an extremely painful process. But I suppose we all go through the trial and error. But I suppose if you're taking months to make these edits, that trial and error gap becomes much bigger than me editing a 20-minute video for 5 people that watch it. So again, I don't think anyone in this panel envy you whatsoever. So going on to music, does that share a similar role of maybe months of editing before you come up with a final cut?
Fortunately not, no.
Lucky.
Yeah. No, I hear a lot about the editing process. I get into a lot of watching the behind the scenes stuff, and like editing, they literally say 18 months on a scene or something stupid to get it right. So, but no, with music, no. It's fortunately it's very, very different. I literally just hit record, and whatever comes out the other end is what it is, because I do all my stuff live. But again, I try and, with regards to spreading out, once I do the live streams on Twitch, so there's the live stream part of it. I'm also recording the video, which I then upload to YouTube, and then I also upload the video to Mixcloud and SoundCloud, because they're both, they have similar sort of aims, that they are slightly different in the way that they work. But no, it's, in terms of the music, it is very, very quick, and I think that's probably why I've actually only recently had a lot of traction with it, because I'm able to literally, like, barring, not that I intentionally break Twitch's 24-hour policy, can literally, if I wanted to, I could probably have all 3 live and ready within about 20 minutes of finishing the stream.
Wow.
Because it's just audio, it literally takes about 3 minutes to render a WAV file of 2.5 hours of mixing. So that's actually very, very, so I'm able to do it very, very quickly. But getting the videos, recording the video and actually getting up on that on YouTube is just something I've only done fairly recently. And weirdly, I don't know, it's the numbers are destroying everything I've ever done on YouTube up to this point. So I'm like, hey, maybe I've been doing it wrong for the last 7 years. I should have just done DJing and done that.
But how do you define the discoverability? I know with mainly we have people who just play games on this channel and sort of stream through Twitch. What's your discoverability like through the websites that you use? I know you mentioned SoundCloud. Do you find you get a lot of traction through the external sites that you use?
I do get a lot of traction. I think it's maybe slightly different within the music side of things, because the style I play is is niche, and whilst we don't all the artists don't all know each other. It's not like 8 degrees. You can literally like, oh, I know this guy. Who knows this guy? It's literally like 1 or 2, and then you're like, oh yeah, now I know that guy, and now I know him, and now I know them. So the discoverability on that side of things is actually very easy because it's literally like, hey, you follow this, and this guy. Follow these as well, and these are probably guys that I already know anyway, and probably chat to on Facebook and whatnot. So the discoverability on that side is actually pretty good. As I said, I don't know if that's because it's music versus like video, whether it's because I said it's a niche sort of style that I do, so it's kind of easier to be found because you fight. You're not. Even though it's still I'm still fighting against. Not fighting, that's the wrong word, but I hope you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm in a crowd, but it's still a fairly large crowd for what it is. But it's nothing compared to gaming. It's nothing compared to videos. So I said, so I don't know whether it's because they're Mixcloud and SoundCloud handle discoverability better, or it's just because I'm, as I said, in a much more niche sort of area. But I'm finding the discoverability actually being really quite good. People are finding my stuff that literally they're just like, yeah, I was listening to a track and yours came up as the next thing as recommended. And I'm like, wow, that's never happened to me with anything I've ever done before. So yeah, it's a lot easier on that front.
No, that's great. And I suppose this can segue beautifully into probably, as you already mentioned, the most saturated community being the gaming sphere through Twitch. Now, I think Quack might have a lot of things to say about discoverability. So again, we'll give him his moment to shine, which will be great. Quack, I know you edit your own content, but you also have someone else that helps you with the workload to sort of stretch that content to wherever it needs to be. But I suppose if we just follow on from the first question, how is discoverability for gaming through Twitch for what it is that you stream?
It's not the easiest thing in the world, as I think we've discussed before. You know, there's plenty of other places that could do with Twitch could do with better ways of discoverability. But then when you actually break it down of how do you get better discoverability, it's like, well, don't really know. I have, as you say, I've gone into YouTube. Like, I do upload things onto YouTube nowadays. But to be fair, like, it's not it. I thought, because I know some people who do it, and I think, oh well, they make it look easy. But it's actually quite a lot harder than I thought when you do a video and you think, I can spend, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours just recording however so many videos, and then when we upload them, I'm like, right. I remember this episode's really good. This one will be really good, and then it's like it gets like 12 views, and you're like, well, it's better than last. It's better than the last one. It's the last one you got 7, so. But like, yeah, the discoverability on Twitch. I thought I could convert a lot of people over to YouTube, and then vice versa, and it hasn't really worked. So, but it is literally just an absolute. And I know some people hate the word. It is an absolute grind. It's like you've really just got to keep going and going and going and going, and then one day, you never know, one video might do semi-decent.
But I think Grazer nailed it perfectly when he mentioned the networking. So when you mentioned that you have a particular taste in the same genre, and then, your song came on this playlist, and I thought it was amazing, so I'm just going to drop you a follow. Networking is key. Regardless of your growth to whatever industry you're in, I believe that finding the right people to follow along with you, whether they're going to co-host in the content or even just give you advice on how to make it better, whether they're larger or smaller creators, networking is key. But I do find, as Grazer mentioned, it being as easy as it was in music, it probably isn't as easy in gaming through experiences that I can also mention. I don't know how the movie sphere are. I believe if you're creating a movie, you've got a fairly close-knit set of people that you really can't be like, let's bring in X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C to sort of make this better. So gaming is really cutthroat. How does that sort of go with movies, with networking?
So obviously, a lot of people, especially in my circles, tend to stick with people they know because one, you can depend on them reliably, and trying to either get more people in, you have to do a lot of auditioning process, and then that can take a while, because then you can like audition like 20 people, and then half of them are like semi-competent, and then like the others might not know what they're doing, and you're like, oh, this is useless. and then like you end up sticking to the same people because you know you know that how competent they are. Two, it might be reliability, or if it's a short notice type thing, you go, here's my usual crew. I'll just stick with them because they're easier. And so I go to a big event once a year called DV Mission, and there's a bunch of filmmakers I try and connect to there as well, because obviously all our films are shown through because we do a 48-hour film competition, so we have 48 hours to write script, shoot and edit a film, 2 minutes, and it's insanely tight. And most of the time, we're all meeting up after the film's produced and talking to each other, and it's really hard to try and communicate those ideas because everyone's obviously got their own crews, and obviously everyone wants to stick with their own crews, and trying to collaborate that way takes time. And you need to find the right project. You need to you got to do it months in advance to make sure people are available. And if it's a low budget thing, you got to make sure that either if you can you can pay them. If you can't, then you got to find some way to compensate for their time. It takes so long, and networking is difficult because obviously there's so many people, and I just literally try and I'm getting an example here. So I try and hand out my little cards to people. These are old ones. I need to update them. Super old. But literally just trying to hand out little business cards to people, because that's the only way. If they contact you, amazing. You're just well, I just lost a card.
But you're getting your name out there. That's the major thing. You are networking in a truly reliable way. People will hold business cards first. I got a business card back when I did a jobs fair back when I was 14. That's still in my wallet. I'll never contact them. I don't know if they're still alive or if the service still exists. I have no idea. But a business card is so quick and reliable, easy digestible information, and you know what it's there for. So as long as you haven't got an entire movie script on the back saying, "Hi, I'm Alex," perfect. It gets the point across. But in that same breath of networking, we know that gaming is difficult. I think that a lot of people might go out of their own way to sort of one-up in that sphere, and it's really hard to say a bad thing about the gaming industry, because I do believe it is very cutthroat. It is really hard to engage with people that when you reach a particular status, there is an ulterior motive, which I think me and Quack have sort of fallen into in our time. But with music, this is the most fascinating panel I've had, because we are breaking into different genres. But I know with music, there's tons of collaborative efforts. I know some musicians have teams that work behind them. How does that work with you, Greta? Do you have people that are with you throughout, and do you have people that you can rely on that will help you produce these songs?
I do, and I just want to slightly caveat something. I don't want to make the make the scene sound like it's perfectly angelic. It's not. A lot of the issues that Alex has mentioned, and you've just mentioned, we have the same. You get to a certain status, and there are politics, there is dirty play, there is one-upsmanship, there is underhand tactics. All of that does go on. So I've just sort of realised when I was explaining, I was thinking maybe I'm whitewashing a few things a little bit. But with regards to collaboration, yeah, there's a lot of collaboration. I think from particularly a specialized point of view, in that I can write my own tracks, I can do a lot of the production, but there's still that element of engineering of getting every individual sound crystal clear that I just don't have. So I will go to an engineer and say, right, here's my project file. This is the sort of thing I want to go for. Let's, get the layer of polish. And again, yeah, I've built up contacts that way. I have very particular people who I will go to, and I will only go to them, depending on what type of music the type of track that I'm making. But again, I've only got to know them because I've followed their socials, I've chatted to them, I've interacted with them when they've been putting up advice, from their experience. When I've actually had to gone to events, it's that sort of thing. Very networking. I'm off to an event in Birmingham in May. Yeah, I'm there to have a good time and dance and maybe have a couple of drinks. I don't know. But it's also about getting my name and my face in there, because people like now know who I am, and they know that I make music and make this content, but they still want to see me supporting them, because they're like, oh, okay, you're coming to support me. Then next time I'm running an event and I'm looking for a DJ. Oh yeah, I remember meeting Grazer back in May. I'll see if he's available to come play for us. Which is probably why, again, like events like Insomnia and whatnot, I think that's why a lot of people go to them, and pretty much why they're run. And get a business card like Alex. Business cards are just like, here you go, here's everything you want. It's like, literally, I had a business card, and it literally had my name, my email address, and a link to my very hastily made website. That's pretty much all I had on it. But yeah, it is, again, it's just coming back to the question. Yeah, there's very specific people that I know, and that there is a lot of collaboration in that regard. Because quite like filmmaking, actually, you can make the film, but there's still bits that do require that little bit of specialist attention to elevate it a little bit. Would that be right, Alex? Am I misunderstanding?
No, you're absolutely bang on the money there. You've got people who are specializing in cinematography. You've got people who specialize in the actual production. You've got set designers, hair and makeup. Like you can see like even on the end of Marvel credits, they go on for a while for a reason, because there's so many extra little jobs that need to be done. And I try as a filmmaker, I stay behind and look at the credits, because a lot of people, especially like myself, that'll be like maybe like one person's attention to, like, you go, oh, I might know that person, and you'll see their name on the credit go by, and you're like, oh, that's so cool. I think it's really important to remember that, like, it's not just one person a lot of the time. A lot of the time there is a lot of people that are behind the scenes that are actually making like a lot of stuff. Especially, like, I wouldn't be where I am without my crew behind me. Not physically behind me. If they were here, that would be weird.
everyone clap.
I've now just had an image of all these cameras and there's lights, and the director going, that's great, emote more.
I keep telling him to put the whip away, but but there's so many extra roles that go into like film, and even like my degree is in like broadcasting. So going to Twitch was basically a no-brainer for me, because I have I was trained to go into like live TV anyway. So broadcasting myself was not something I was not going to do. Obviously, I had a lot to learn. I was like, I still look back at like old clips that are still on my Twitch, and I go, oh, that was not good. Why did I do that? But yeah, like I think especially like realizing that like even like if you get help with your friends as well, they can really help and influence what you're doing. Because I would never be where I would be without any of my friends. Like even on the D&D stuff, like a lot of like the way they go is because my friends are improving and making up stupid stuff to just say, and I go, yeah, sure, that's fine. So I think a lot of them have also helped, making me grow as a creator, because I go, am I doing stuff wrong? And usually they'll go, yes. That's because they're me. but sometimes they're genuinely helpful. So I think that's really important to. Yeah, really.
But I feel like you hold the right people in the best regard, and away from the people that give you a bit of shit talk and they give you a bit of the stick, that they want what's best for you. And with Vamp in the chat, then when he's read out here, I feel like if you want to have a nice viewership on Twitch, you need to bring people from another platform like YouTube or TikTok, because there are a lot of people streaming, especially games. Now, my advocacy for people that want to stream, because of how easy it is to stream, you can do it from your phone. Now, I've got the cheapest phone on the market, and I can stream at 1080p quality. I couldn't even tell you I could have done it until I got into insomnia. So understanding the expectation of what it is that you can do. I work full time. I stretch myself. I'm probably doing more hours in my content creation time, going to things like TikTok and then going to like YouTube Shorts. It was mainly shorts clips. But as you mentioned there, Alex, my friend who doesn't create content was driving me every day. He'd be like, I seen that one clip you put up of you playing Elden Ring, and you made this edit with this particular sound, and that lift went up at the beginning, and it pissed my pants. And I thought, great, that is all I needed to know for me to continue this going forward. And I think I was, it sounds really weird for me to say, I was consistent for 3 months before I decided, actually, I don't think I can create content. I've got, so much in my life. I've got nothing, by the way. I got so much in my life to do that I can't be stuck behind a PC playing games. But with going through multiple platforms, as I said to Quack, you've got someone that helps you siphon out your content to go to other platforms. How important is it that, again, setting the expectation of you can't just press go live on Twitch to be instantly successful, you need to branch to things like YouTube. How has that played a role when you've created content?
I don't really know how to answer that.
Has it helped you?
Yeah.
Do you believe that, again, with all the time that you've spent making this content, do you believe it's helped your, without sounding shady, like your statistics through YouTube, depending on the content that you're making? Do you feel like your TikTok is seeing more traction? Do you feel like your Twitch is becoming more lively?
Yeah, definitely. The thing is like, because I do separate games from YouTube than I do from Twitch, I can make separate clips. The only thing I find that's slightly different is obviously like the live interaction, because obviously I haven't got that nothing to bounce off of. So like when you're making a YouTube video, you like you gotta make sure that, like for me, I'm all about the comedy type thing. I'm like, I've got to say something that's funny, then I've got to be confident in my funniness, and I've got to be, that's not even a word, I've got to be funny. I got to make sure that I'm like confident in it. But like when I'm on Twitch, if I say something and it doesn't land, I'm like, oh that didn't last. But like something else might pop up really fast, and I can alter it very quickly. But with YouTube, it's the thing is what's really funny is like I'm going to show off now. I have a BA Honours in Performing Arts. So...
Oh, you...
I'm not flexing, but...
Flex away, mate. Be proud of it.
But like, so
yeah, be proud.
I know it. I can relate a lot of what I do with Twitch and YouTube to stage performance and for film. So like with Alex is saying, like, you got all these people behind you. It's like, I've done all that, and I'm like, yeah, I completely agree. And then when you do with Twitch, I'm like, so you're by yourself. Like you say, networking is, for me, is quite essential, because I know nothing about PCs, and I need to surround myself with people who know not everything, but like bits and pieces that I can just take from everywhere, as you would for a film set, or if you're doing a production, or if you're doing music and stuff. Like, you can't just sit there by yourself and do it. And then when you take one thing from one person, one thing from another, and all of a sudden, I know how to do this thing. And like, oh shit, I'm actually better at what I'm doing now. I'm like, oh. So yeah.
No, that's good. And I think when you realize that you need to stretch going into other forms of content, I think Shorts at the time that I was doing it was just coming off the ground. TikTok had been a thing for some time, but it was mainly like these dance trends and IRL stuff. And most of the gaming things I was seeing were like really cringe clips of poorly edited videos and really like really harsh audio that you don't want to hear on your mobile phone when you're on the toilet at 3 a.m. No one needs to hear that. Your neighbor, your partner, your dog, nothing needs to hear that. But with maximizing your content, again, having you guys in different fields, this is just amazing with the answers that we can get. With you, Grazer, as you mentioned there, with you being more recognized in your space, and Alex, with you having to spend these months creating what it is that you're creating, and then Quack doing what Quack's doing, how do you feel like you need to go forward with what you create? Because as me just playing games, my only forward from this would be appropriately networking with the right people and not showing that there's an ulterior motive, that we can come together collaboratively to make something really epic, which is why I joined Streamseed, because I know I can give that to others now that I'm not doing it. But we'll start with you then. We'll start with Grazer this time. We'll let Alex have a think. I don't want to bombard you, Alex, with the first with the first ones. But Grazer, how do you go now beyond what you're already doing in order to, again, maximize your content?
never actually thought about it because I'm kind of at the moment in my stage. I'm kind of just wanting to almost like perfect my craft, so I don't want to start going too crazy. But I get generally, I guess for mine, it would be maybe branching out into different styles of music. So maybe like doing trance or techno or house or doing something like that. Because even though music at a very basic level is music, when you put it together, 4 beats to a bar, then that's just how you work. You add your claps, your hats, your snares, your cymbal, and all that. But each genre has its very, very own unique sound. You're probably not going to confuse a house track with a happy hardcore track, for example. I mean, if you do get those two confused, come see me. We'll have a little chat later on. But then they've all got them. And again, coming back to the specialized, they're guys that just make house, and they are they know what a house track sounds like. And a lot of not just us like creators, but a lot of the clubbers, the people who listen to this music, the people who are are passionate and love this music, they know what makes. I'm just using house as an example. They know what makes a house track, and they know what makes a good house track and what's a bad one. So with regards to branching out, it would be a case, okay, let's make different genres of music and let's make good genres, good quality music. I think, and that's just basically what it comes down to, is just improving the quality and of what I'm doing. Now, that again is the way I'm doing that at the moment is working with other people, working with engineers, other producers. I'm hoping to get some collaborations going with other producers, and that's how I've learned right from the ground up. With regards to expanding where I can put it, I don't think there probably is. I mean, I could maybe try and do a minute TikTok. I don't know what that would actually look like with my music beyond just like an animated minute video with a clip of my music. I'm not sure that TikTok would probably work in that regard. But yeah, I guess just repeat myself, which I have a tendency to do, and I apologize in advance.
No, that's fine.
It's just about improving the quality so that I get known for making quality, not and I fell into this trap in my early career. Quantity, just getting tracks out there for the sake of getting a track out there, just to get my name known. Now a lot of it, and again slightly to my own horn, a lot of the feedback I'm getting from people is, this is a really good track, this is a really high quality track, and people are actually playing them in streams and playing them at events. And so that's the only way that I can go forwards, is improving my quality so that happens more often. And then it'll be a case of, much like in the other industry, the big boys, for the want of a better word, start noticing and start playing the tracks and start going, hey, you should go book Grazer to come and do your event. Come and play. But yeah, from my side, that's it's not it's just about diversifying the style of music and improving the quality, as opposed to actually going off and doing something completely different, like going to gaming. So I've actually gone the other way. My gaming streaming is how I started streaming, was the gaming, and for a lot of the reasons that the Quack has already raised, I kind of realized, like, I can't actually do this. I don't have the I don't have what it takes to be a quote unquote successful gaming streamer. So I stream now just for the heck of it. But my production has sort of gone a different route. And I'm talking along. But again, I think, and this is another trap that perhaps probably for another a different session, is that I'm only sort of really getting there because I'm now having success, which is what's making me want to continue with actually wanting to improve my quality. But that's a really, really long-winded way of saying my diversification is different genres and just improve the quality. So that's really all I can go with it, really.
But I think you having that solid idea that you know where to go from this point, I think when you started mentioning that there was nowhere else you can go, for me that sounded quite refreshing, because I believed that you were at that stage where you're like, I'm comfortable here. Where I am right now, I'm doing the so many events, and I'm being recognized by these particular creators that I already have a fascination and interest with. And then you start to continue going by, I could diversify, I could be going to more events, I could be stretching my name out there more. So you have a realistic expectation, which I think a lot of us can probably say. Most people, when they get into the creative sphere, don't really have, as well, I would say in my experience, especially with streaming, they expect to press go live, do the same formula.
I did as well. I did as well. I absolutely, with my gaming streaming, I absolutely did. That was, that I think is ultimately what, in a way, I think what killed my gaming streaming career, really, because I had that attitude of, hey, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. And it's like, yes, therein lies the problem. You're just doing what everybody else is doing. You're not doing anything different. You're not standing out. You're not, why should somebody, if you're just playing a video game and somebody else is playing a video game, what is it about you that they should come and watch you? And the honest answer was nothing.
But you've identified that, and I think that's what some people refuse to do. They can't look at themselves to say, I'm not going anywhere from this. And whether people come into this as a hobbyist, and again, they do this just for fun. I was doing it for fun. I had a full-time job, paid very well. I didn't need to do streaming for the sake of the monetization. Yeah, the subs felt amazing. Getting those bits, the hypes. I did a subathon where I ate a whole head of lettuce. I'm never doing that again. But it was the interaction. Grazer, I don't need that look from you. I will find the VOD. You will find it funny. I ate a whole lettuce, and what was it fun? Absolutely. And the incentive there was that was the content that I want to create. I wanted to go more IRL. I wanted to go out there and be, an absolute menace in a McDonald's where I'm doing the worm and then I'm smashing a milkshake off a dirty desk just filled with Big Macs. These things flood through my head. And while I know I'd get arrested, I believe it's content, So it's really weird. But in that same form, if we go towards gaming, Quack, how do you see yourself? If you were to think of what is the next step for Quack, how do you think that you're doing your streaming, you're doing your minimal uploads, what do you do to get to that next step for you?
The next thing step-wise for me is I'd have to try and instead, like you say, I'd put like my YouTube things, even though I haven't done one for a couple of weeks now. I used to do like one a week. Sort of, like, I do focus on it, like, it does have my attention, but it's not, like, the main thing of, like, right, I need to get this done, I haven't put out a couple of weeks just because I've been busy. So, like, it's more, like, for me to go into that next major step is, like, more motivation of just, like, put more stuff out on, like, Instagram, because I have an Instagram, I barely use it because I just, number one, I don't really know how to use it. Mrs. Quack does it for me. I'm not even ashamed to say that because she does it. She's the one that knows what to do. TikTok is one. I've got so many ideas of doing TikToks, and like I see all these trends, I think, oh, that'll be funny, and then I never do it because, like you said, Ross, I work full time. I'm literally like 7 weeks away from having a baby, so I'm shitting myself with that. And like real life just gets the better of me. But I'm happy with the streaming that I've got now. There is a part of me that's like, right, come on now, that's why I started doing YouTube. I was like, January now, pull up one a week, and we're into April and I've gone like 3 weeks without one. I'm like, I feel bad, but I'd love to put my foot down and be like, right, come on, once a week now, we're doing this. I'm gonna put TikTok, I'm gonna get loads of TikToks ready, I'm gonna put them out so many times, I'll get all the algorithms somewhat down or whatever, but then just real life gets in the way. I think all of us can all say it's we pretty much know that we're not going to be the next I was going to say Megan Fox. I don't know why I'm saying Megan Fox. Who's
You're very close to Megan Fox to me.
I know. Oh my god, who's the actor? The one who did The Whale? He was in The Mummy. He's just come back. What's his name?
Brendan Fraser.
Thank you. I think we can all sit here and we're not going to be the next Brendan Fraser as much as it kills us. But it is what it is. Life gets in the way, unfortunately. But I would love to put foot down, and I do get jealous sometimes when you see these like, oh, I'm full-time creator, and you think, oh god, I wish I had that free time, but it's just not viable, unfortunately.
And it does suck, but I think you've got a realistic expectation of what it is that you have going on in your life. That again, you don't need to be swamped with the idea of, if I just do this X, Y, and Z, eventually you're going to hit a burnout, and then you're just going to resent the fact that you're creating content. I've watched some of your streams. regretfully, I wish I didn't. But I think you really do have something going for you, where your ADHD will flare into something big. And if I see you with a line of branded clothing in a Primark, I know you've made it. And I can say, I had a KFC with that man once, and I will feel honoured to have sat next to you wearing my Quack I'm a Panda shirt, which will be great. That's not a shameless plug. But moving on, lastly, then to Alex. Again, long form. Making a movie, I can imagine, is probably the longest form of content creation. Other than just saying the words money, how do you go to leveling up your experience? Because I know of a friend who does his own, he gets like Kickstarters and Patreons of where if you fund to him, many things come in and you become an executive producer. How do you go to leveling up your content without saying just money?
You took the one answer away from my mouth. No, it's a lot more than money. It's time and it's dedication. If you've got to sort of put yourself really into a project, because you can end up like, even if I'm like making a TikTok or something on my phone, I have to spend like a certain amount of time going, right, this is the funny idea I want to do, and it will take me about 16 attempts to make that joke funny, because I can't do it once because it hurts and I go, I hate everything, start again. But I think I think like, especially with like long form, it's really hard to like get into a project and go, oh, scrap, I can't bother with this anymore, scrap it. Especially like when I started YouTube, I was, God, that must have been 13, 14. So a few years ago now. And I basically just sat down and just started making stuff. I knew it wasn't going to do well. I knew it wasn't going to be, the best in the world. But I just thought, if I just make something and I can get a reaction, positive or negative, I can take that to heart. And mostly it was negative. But
oh, don't. I can't.
After I had a cry, I took from what I took that and tried to always take on and improve, because even like on my first like gaming streams, like I had a million problems. My audio was I was going off my webcam audio, which is terrible, and I had basically no setup, so even like this microphone is like a step up mildly, like massively. So it's taking the little lessons and trying to like, I would say streamline you're like, and to make sure that you're enjoying it. Because if you're not enjoying something, it's not what people will tell.
Yes,
it comes across on screen really easily that you're not enjoying something. And I've taken multiple long breaks off like Twitch. If I'm not enjoying myself, I'm not gonna push myself through to try and do it, because it is a grind, but the grind also is malicious and does take a lot out of you. And especially like long form, it can take months to get like one project, one script perfect. Then you film it and go, there's about 18 spelling errors on this damn script, isn't there? Oh no, I have to rewrite it again. Or like you go, we miss it, and or you film something and you go, we've missed two scenes that are vital, and then you have to call everyone back to go, sorry guys, we've missed something, and then they all go, oh, for goodness, no, I forgot that again, and then you have to rebook everything. I think. Yeah, if you can genuinely put like your heart into something, like even if it's like gaming or music, people can tell. It's like inside like voice acting. People can tell when you're not interested.
Yeah,
because it comes across like I know people who do voice acting, and you can sort of tell when they're not really fully into it, because it does come across on through their voice and through their actions. So
I think it's crazy you say that. One of my dreams, which wasn't really one for a long time, I would have loved to have done voice acting in any capacity. I wouldn't mind being a janitor that just in the background of a major scene just goes, these fucking guys here. I'd love to do something that would involve me just speaking. It sounds like a great thing. But the one thing one person told me is, you know when someone's unhappy because they don't wear a smile. And I thought, right, in a call, I'm going to try and capture this and see if it works. Smile when you speak, and I guarantee you that person believes that you're happy. And I'm like, there's no way that works. So in my normal call job, and I'm there with a smile, hello, my name's Ross, and I go through the whole script, and he goes, have a wonderful day. And I'm like, did you just say what to me? And I didn't believe what he was going through. So yeah, wearing a smile, it makes it easy. But as you said, I resonate with you so much on taking long breaks. Now, I don't know if she's in the chat, but she's my biggest critic, but my biggest hype woman. Jathleen has been with me through thick and thin through my content creation journey, and this poor woman has me for 3 months where I'm doing God's work. I'm doing content, I'm nailing it every day. I am the funniest man on the face of this earth. And then I go quiet for 8 months because I'm not enjoying it. And I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I just get really bored of things. Every 3 months it's like, don't want to do this anymore. I play World of Warcraft religiously. I'd not do work. I do raids. I'm bored now. I want to do something else. And it's so annoying. But I suppose this could probably lead into where the future, or what the future will hold for you all. Mr. Slippers asked this, but whether you want to get specific, that'd be great. Let's just nail one thing that gives you that I made it moment. But if you were to think of the next 3 years, let's say, Grazer, this is to do with your DJing now. You can't pick both gaming and DJing. That's greedy. What would be you in 3 years? Where do you see yourself? So we'll start with Quack. I'm throwing you in the deep end. 3 years.
You sound so disappointed.
Because I don't believe you've got an answer, and I like making you feel uncomfortable. So it is now 2026. You have done this journey that you're on. Where would you like to see yourself, or what would you like to have done in that time where you're at this stage?
I would have a 3-year-old by then. Oh, that's scary. Right, sorry, back on track. 3 years time. You're right. I don't really have an answer because my type of personality doesn't really let me plan that far in advance. I go about next week and that's about it. But 3 years time, to be fair, I hope that I wouldn't have changed much of who I am. I'm very much as you know, I like getting to know people. I don't want to lose my thing of that, my funny side. I stream mainly to make people laugh and just have a game of something of, even if I'm shit at Halo like I was today.
True.
Thanks. Like I say, these. Oh wait, hang on, where am I? Yeah, these pair. Am I on the right side? No, these pair. Sorry, wrong side. I'm making them laugh. That makes me happy, and that's all I really want. And all I would want to do in the next 3 years is grow further to make more people laugh, and then, go to Insomnia, whatever it would be, like 25,000 at that point. And you said what's that I made it moment is if I can walk past someone and they go, no, it's probably not. And I go, it is. And then they message me later going, I was really thinking to speak to you. I'm like, no, just talk to me, man, it's fine. I'm not going to bite unless you pay me enough. But, I don't really, I know it sounds stupid, I don't really want to change that much apart from just have more people around me that I can either make fun of or they can make fun of me and I make them laugh.
That's a beautiful exchange. I think that's a really reasonable thing for you to say, because I thought you were going to say a Primark clothing brand sponsorship, just like Ninja did.
Right. Greg's did it. I won't be able to do it. I'm not, and also as well, I did like to point out one thing. Now, our other two lovely guests on here have been very professional and having cards to give out to people, so people can remember them and get in contact with them. What have I got? Stickers.
But at least it's identifiable.
Well, the worst thing is, it's. Oh, actually, do you know what? I could just go around it. No, I paid way too much time just to waste them.
Stick them on lampposts.
Well, I was going to say that. Stick them around on lampposts, but then I paid quite a lot. Well, I say quite a lot of money. I paid money for them. And I'm like, I could just give them to people and then they could do it for me. I don't know.
I'm sure someone got fined for doing that. Someone, and it wasn't even related to them. They liked a particular creator, and they took a bunch of stickers relating to this creator, and they went all over the world. I'm assuming it was for their job because they went to a lot of different countries, and they started slapping this bloke's image. So obviously it was his face, and then below the face then was the person's name. But the person got fined. The creator got fined for someone putting his stickers all over like lampposts and stuff. So this is a call to chat. I need you to purchase Quack I'm a Panda stickers wherever you are. I will fund the cost. You guys need to plaster them wherever you are, okay? In a Starbucks, next to your neighbor's car, a museum. Hell, you can go even darker. You can go into a haunted house. It doesn't matter where you'd like to go. Send me a DM with the receipt if you bought these stickers. I will PayPal you the difference. Every sticker that you put in an inconvenient place is 20 pence. Now, some of you can rack a good amount of money doing this, so please, for my sake, let's get Quack a fine. Let's get that trending on Twitter, folks. Hashtag Quack fine.
That's beautiful.
The worst thing was, you said about that person got a fine. And I was going to go like, I have these. But to be fair, you've outdone me now, so.
That's fine. This is why I get the host seat. That's why I'm here. So when you host Creators of the Doughnut Table, or when you host Clip of the Week again, you can create outrage by cancelling someone that's a judge when you stream.
Oh, come on. I tried doing that last week and I'm still here.
No, that's fair enough. I literally forgot where we were talking about then. Oh, 3 years. 3 years from now.
3 years, yeah.
3 years, and we're going to go to Raise next, I feel.
No, because you said that, Alex, 3 years from now, where would you like to be? What would be the one thing that you think, damn, this is a good spot to be in? It's been 3 years.
I think being able to make regular content on a consistent basis for me, making something that I can be like, right, I can not necessarily like quantity wise, obviously quantity over quality is bad, and I don't want to just pop something out for like no reason, because that's the worst thing you can, like, in my mind, you can do. It's just like slap that on that, or go. No, I hate it. So something I can do, like I can find love in that's of decent quality every sort of month. Give myself some time. I'm not crazy. Weekly uploads, man. It'll take me a week just to not hate the video. But like something on a semi-consistent basis that I can go, I am proud of that and I'm happy with that, and it might make me some money. Who knows? But like keep your day jobs. But like, yeah, something I could be proud of consistently. But yeah, no, it would be nice to be a full-time content creator. Is that absolutely horrifying to think of in the long term? Yes, because you can just lose everything like that. It's a wild, it's a dog race out there. So,
it's a really hard question because you don't want to put the idea that this is where you could be. I think everyone should have that end goal, or at least a checkpoint of where you'd like to be. I will say, from my perspective, with being involved with Streamseed, knowing where we are currently to what we've achieved so far before we've even launched, getting told that we could be an industry member, a part of Insomnia, was huge. Now, truthfully, I will say this as a disclaimer, I've done nothing that is worth the credit that I've been given while on this platform. Absolutely zero. And I think Mr. Slippers can attest to that. It has just been with him, with Leon and Harley. They have done the backbone of most of the marketing. Everything you see on Twitter is just their masterpiece. It's incredible. And then with Optics coming on in, he effectively did most of the creative work, setting me into this position where it's just easy breezy sailing. Most of the things that you see here will be VODed, so that'll be all my handiwork. So I'm going to credit everything to me, as a person would do in this situation. But then obviously link you guys so people can find me through your name. So I'm awfully sorry about that. But if we flip it around, Grazer, 3 years. Again, horrible question. No one really likes to oversell themselves in that message. But where would you like to see yourself 3 years from now?
Sort of slightly odd way. In 3 years, it's not about streaming. I DJ and make music for people to enjoy. And the dream has always been to be doing this in real life, on being the guy on the stage behind the decks, in front of a crowd of people who are just in the moment, loving what you're doing. And that's ultimately what I want. That's what I want to do. Is to have that moment. I don't think I'll ever feel like I've made it. Very much like Quacker said, my mind just won't allow me to go, yes, I've made it. But I think that having that moment, I think my mind can go, this is what I've been wanting. This is why I do what I do, because not only do I love doing it, other people are enjoying what I'm doing as well. And so that if I can do that in 3 years, that would be incredible to do it in 3 years. But then again, everything is sort of happening late with me. I'm in my 40s now anyway. So
40 is the new 30 in the creator sphere.
that's what people are saying.
And do you know what? As a 30-year-old, I'm attesting to that message being true. But I will say, to give you some loving here, when we went to Insomnia, and I think Mr. Slippers can agree to this, and I'm probably not sort of giving something away where it might be considered a bit weird. A lot of the people that had time and had their brand put out there when they were having main stage time, or they were having particular branding sponsored at these events, these people weren't, let's say, game changers. They were doing what they were doing in a great fashion, no credit taken away from whatever it is they've done. But we were seeing people who through their socials weren't exactly known. I think the one musical performance we'd seen was Mr. Greggles, and it was so emotional, and this is going to sound really weird, it was so emotional having him do a drum set to the BFG division from the Doom soundtrack. Now, only because it was very emotional to me. He isn't looking at me this entire... He's got his camera out, he's filming Mr. Greggles, and tears are leaving my eyes because it was such a beautiful thing. So when you mentioned it, Grazer, about people just enjoying the moment, people wanting to be there, I had no interest in drumming. I had no interest in thinking that I would sit in this stage and I wanted to be here, watch this man. And he came out and he said, this is the BFG division for the Doom soundtrack. The whole place erupted, and he killed it. He fucking killed it. And I know we can't swear, but that's the enthusiasm I want to show. So Grazer, you could be there too. You could be giving us the hardest dance. The chairs moved. Me bopping, back aching. That's what I want to do. I want to get back to my Airbnb with a breakfast in the morning, but knowing that I've destroyed my back and legs. Good fucking night. That's what I need.
Yeah. That's basically that's what I want to do as a DJ. Is you get back and you've gone, that was a fucking, sorry, I'm swearing, that was a brilliant night.
It's passion. It is.
That was a freaking brilliant night. All the DJs are on point. Yeah, from a DJ perspective, I want that. Can I just answer Guns and Cookies' question?
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
So it says, if I get it right, Grace is doing anything music related to DMC free stuff as well. No, yes, music related, no to the DMCA free stuff. The reason being is the vast majority of my stuff gets signed to labels, and then obviously that's they own. It's essentially, from a legal perspective, they own the track, so they own the rights to it. So it wouldn't be DMCA. Though the caveat to that is that it's kind of why we make we make music in the first place. A lot of the tracks I use are protected by copyright, but nobody gives me any hassle for it because it's why the artist made the track in the first place. Is for it to play. Now, there's again a whole other discussion with regards to copywriting and streaming and online use of music, etc. Anyway, but no, it's not DMCA free stuff. I think even my own stuff may not even be DMCA free because I put a lot of movie samples in my tracks. which is a whole other discussion. So even then, I don't think I could probably get away with making it DMCA free. But so that's probably a whole other discussion to have on how do we do this and not break copyright laws. So to go back to the 3-year question is, I actually see it being off streaming, being offline, because ultimately, as a DJ, that's, you want to be in a venue in front of a crowd of people who are just absolutely losing themselves in what it is that you're doing. And if that's to one of my own tracks as well, that would be like...
Keep me in your DMs, because the day that happens, whether we can facilitate helping you doing it, or whether you sign the Wembley Arena, I want to be front row. I want to be there as quick as the night will end. I want to be making sure...
We all start somewhere, and mine starts towards the end of August. I've got my first, as I said right at the beginning, I've got my first real life gig for a small event in London. So who knows, in 3 years, maybe I'll be, someone's holding a dance event in Wembley Arena and I'm on the flyer. And I will absolutely send you. I'll send you tickets.
Oh, that's what I need. That's the promise I needed.
Yeah, I'll send you tickets. I'll get you on the
chat.
list and all that. Don't
Clip
worry.
that.
Yeah, clip that. Have that. If it ever happens, if I ever get to play at Wembley.
I was going to say, keep in contact with me as well. I'd like to make some films I'd like to make your music for some films. Pay you, of course. But
in all seriousness, I will send you a link to my Toolbot, because all my stuff gets sold on a website called Toolbox Digital. And if there is genuinely anything on there that you're interested in, let me know, and I'll speak to the label owners.
Look at this. If we're not already creating it,
we make this music. We make this for it to be played. So I'm fairly certain there would not be a problem. But yeah, if there is genuinely anything that you see that you want to use, let me know, and I'll put you in contact with the guys who own the labels, and you can come, because you'd have to do it with them, even though it would be my track. It would they would have to go through them.
That was the most humbling self-plug I've ever heard. And you know what? I'm game for it. I'm happy with that. But at the end of this, again, all of your things will be dropped. Don't think you're doing this because it's just a case of I asked you and you all said yes. So please don't think you get nothing from this. Again, all the VODs are available on YouTube. You get links depending on what it is you want to be linked for. Usually it's Twitter. You'll all be linked onto your socials so that those who do want to watch the VODs after that, if they couldn't make the stream, can find your content there. So, I will say the next question is going to be, I want you guys to be giving everyone advice. Again, in your own fields, I want you guys to have a little think of that. But going towards the chat, again, if you have anything that you want to mention with regards to any questions you want to give to the panel or myself, we'll do another list of questions, and then we'll wrap it up for the evening if you don't have anything to contribute. Come on, chat. I believe in you. You can do this. But I will mention, there was a really weird dog that entered Quack's stream. I don't know if all of you caught that.
yeah, that was a weird dog.
I was trying not to, Grazer was going into, having a nice deep conversation about, getting in, and then Luna jumps up on, which was, the cat and the worst thing is she sat in the chair now and she just looked like she's got such the eyes of, I didn't do nothing.
What kind of breed of dog is that?
And the worst thing is she's knocked my pick on the floor, which is really annoying as well, because I heard that is. I've wanted to get it for ages, but I just, wait, because I will lose that. There we go. Sorry. I'm trying my hardest, to just be professional. At least that is not. I've dropped my phone twice.
I've had notifications go off on my phone all the time.
I want to just say,
Stop looking.
Quack's wearing pajama bombs. He didn't think I didn't catch that. I have the eyes of a hawk, even if I do not have the spacing for them. You, my friend, are wearing pajamas.
No, let's get it right. I am wearing Stitch pajama bottoms.
Hey, nice. I like Stitch.
I don't know whether I was expecting you to be like, actually, they're not pajamas, they're boxers. And I thought we were going to have to go to a really quick commercial TOS break.
Damn it, really.
But no, we'll go into the again, if chat wants to sort of come in with something toward the end, this will sort of be the wrap up, unless you guys want to contribute on something. If there's something burning on your mind that you want to ask out, it's going to be advice. So again, between movies, music, and gaming, what would you believe if you were to give advice to someone who's starting in that particular industry? Just a quick, maybe three pieces of advice. Alex, we'll start with you. We'll finish as we started. Getting into the movie industry.
Make weird shit. And I mean that, and I mean that honestly. And apologies for cursing, but honestly, it's the best thing. If you have an idea, make it. Just do it, because the worst thing is, like, it can sit on a bit of paper in a drawer somewhere. Make stuff that you're passionate about, even if it's weird and strange. Do it, because there's nothing worse than you trying to be the next Marvel, because you're not, realistically, it's not.
Be real, yeah.
Quickly. One of my best friends made a film about a duck, and it did surprisingly well. And I was like, you know what? Mwah. Excellent. And
they made a game about a goose, so maybe there's something there.
What can I say? Ducks are doing well.
Who knows? Honestly, in about 4 months, it changes anyway. So just make something that you're passionate about and have that passion come through. Even if it's really strange and arty and abstract, just do it. Because the worst thing you can do is have an idea and then never do it. Because then you go later on, oh, I wish I did that. Do it. Just do it. Go ahead. I think second thing is, don't worry about equipment. Don't worry about what you're doing. If you my first videos are made on a phone, and actually I can show you the camera I used the first time.
Oh, I love these deep dives of equipment. I'm waiting to put out a Nokia 3310, just scuffed to shit.
They're going to outlive us all, those things.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
The anticipation is killing me, boys. I don't know what to say.
If he does actually bring out a Nokia 3310, I will absolutely lose it.
I'll drop 20 subs.
I can imagine just like a tripod now with just the old-fashioned flash thing and...
Oh, the big monocle lens.
Yeah.
That's my first camera. It is a flip camera. It locks at 720p. It has that.
It's got a flippable USB drive.
I know, I was impressed with that as well.
That's the coolest thing I've seen.
These are discontinued. They stopped producing in 2013. They're terrible, but these are what I did my first films on, and they got to basically where they are. So, don't worry about having money, because it's not going to happen instantly. You're not going to get loads. My films are made basically of a cup of tea and 2 biscuits. So yeah, just make it. Even if your quality is terrible, just do what you can. And I think the third bit, if I had to give you a third additional bit of advice, is that if you don't have the best camera, sound is so important. Your film can be the worst quality in the world, but just work on your sound, and if you ace your sound, then everything else falls into place. Because there's something worse than hearing.
Oh, you've watched Quack streams too. Sick.
Yeah. It's nice to know you were lurking.
Oh yeah. Always.
Say hello next time. I might butcher your name.
Sorry. But yeah, no. I think those are Chelsea. What I just seen in the chat, just glanced. But yeah, honestly, I know it's kind of counterproductive to go, don't worry about anything else, and then go sound. But I think it'll as long as people can listen and enjoy what you're actually saying and what you're doing, it pumps up everything so good. So just make weird crap. Make sure it's audible. But don't worry about what it looks like, because hey, VHS apparently is a thing now. So,
VHS
you
coming
know,
back? 2023?
VHS is coming. VHS look is coming back. So so who knows? But just make it. Just do it.
I don't know whether any of you guys have like seen this show, but I read it on well, I'd say read. I watched a documentary of them making it from the first season. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is a show that I just cannot seem to stop watching. Everything about it, the content is garbage, but it's just so, for me, relatable because I am just a piece of shit. So when you go from this season 1 to maybe season 4, it is what looks like to be on a camera phone. And then all of a sudden, I was watching it with a friend, and then you get to season 5 and it's, whoa. And as you mentioned, Alex, the audio gets so crisp. And then all of a sudden, things start getting HD. And then you get to season 10, and then it's not just HD, but then Caitlin's remodeled herself. She's got some work done, and she looks like a different person. It's a whole different thing. But I totally agree with you with the first 3 that you mentioned, but also mentioning the audio is crucial for me because I am not someone that you can look at and go, that's someone I want to look at for more than 2 hours. But when people hear me, they assume it's someone nice, someone sexy, someone with a vibe that may have their life together. That, truthfully, is a no-go. I have nothing together in my life where this voice can accompany success. It won't happen, okay? So I totally agree with everything you've just said there. Top-notch advice. We'll go with Grazer, because Quack, you can go last as you started. Pieces of advice. Alex made 3. It might be difficult for 3, but just give me some pieces of advice if you have any to get into the music or gaming sphere. You can choose whichever one you like now.
No, I mean, I've been talking about my music. And so I will stick with my music. I think there's so much advice, and I'm still learning myself as well. So there's probably a lot of this is probably stuff I need to still do myself. I think the big one is don't be afraid to get help. As we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of specialized areas within music production. And there are a lot of engineers out there that will actually sit down with you and not make your track for you, but they will. You give them. You have that dialogue, and you give them the ideas, and they'll go, "Okay, so we'll use this kick, and we'll use this." And I still do that with a lot of my tracks. Even though I'll have the basic idea laid out within the software, I'll still go to an engineer and go, okay, can we make this? How do we make this sound a bit better? And they'll go, okay, maybe we want to use this sound. So don't be afraid to go out and reach out to an engineers and go, I want to make a track. I don't know where to start, because there are a lot of good people out there that will absolutely help you. The second one with regards to networking is, and then I guess this could probably be more generalized, but especially sort of within the sort of a lot of the people that I speak with, there's nothing worse than people trying to get to know you because they want to stand on your shoulders and get a leg up. If you're going to network with people, if you're going to get to know them for what they do and for who they are. So very much like the events that I attend to, yeah, I'm there to network. I'm there to sort of say, hi, I'm Grazer, I'm a DJ. I know that you run, this event, etc. Hey, maybe next time, maybe keep me in mind for the next time that you want to, run an event and you're looking for DJs. But I'm also there to have a good time. I'm there to listen to the other DJs play. I'm there to relax and unwind and just generally enjoy myself. It's like, yes, I love making music, but I also love listening to it. I love watching and listening to other DJs. Slight segue, the best memory I ever have, aside from getting married, gotta add that just in case, is I was at an event, and it was in an old warehouse. It's actually a place called Bagley's, just off King's Cross in London. And I am literally as far from the DJ as I am to my webcam right now. And I'm literally just watching the guy do his work. And I'm just absolutely mesmerized. But that's why I go to these events, because I want those feelings, I want those experiences. So when you're going to those things, go for that reason. Keep them, as I said, introduce yourself to people, but don't do it with a case of, hi, I'm a DJ, you should book me. More of a case of like, get to know them. They'll get, and then eventually they'll ask. I think the great phrase: ask someone enough questions, and eventually they'll ask one about you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you can then talk about yourself. And I think the third one is very similar to line to what Alex said in regards to making crazy stuff. Make the tracks that you want to make. You know, there's a lot of, you know, we have genre labels, you know, to help people identify what a particular track is. I use them when I'm, you know, buying tracks to play for my sets. But when I'm actually making it, I kind of try not to get bogged down by, oh, this is a hard house track, therefore it must have X, Y, Z. And I'm like, and, you know, and it can't have this. And I'm like, I like that sound. It's going in. I don't care if it's from a techno sample pack or a house sample pack, or hell, it could be Beethoven for all I care. I like it. It's going. Don't. There are actually happy hardcore remixes of Beethoven tracks out there, and some of them are actually quite good.
Some of them slap.
Stick a big ass Duncan Hoover in there. No, but make what you want. Make the track, make what you enjoy, because ultimately when you're starting out, it's the enjoyment in the process that's going to keep you going through the really bad parts when you're not getting the level of recognition and you're not getting the gigs and your tracks aren't doing particularly well. It's the enjoyment that's going to carry you through those moments. So those would be my three probably biggest pieces of advice that I would probably give to anybody.
But equally as valid, regardless of how you look at it. And again, I can't really relate so much in the music sphere, but it all resonates really well in any community that you sort of go with. Network with the appropriate demeanor. Don't think that jumping in with an ulterior motive is going to get you any further, even if you put on a fake smile. And do what you want to do. Don't think that you need to amass to the one video that already has 20 million views because you did a particular challenge and you need to mimic that. There's no success in repetition, but there's no success in copying, because you probably won't get that. Quack, following on to you, gaming, my friend. Now, 3 pieces of advice, and I think advice that if you were to say now, you should take 2, so...
I've loved this. No, 3 pieces of advice. To be fair, I would even still give myself now. Always don't take yourself too seriously, because if once you start taking it too seriously, like we all said now, the fun of it just goes. There's no point. You get burnt out super fast, and then you end up having to take way more time off than you should have, just because you were too stubborn to say, this is not for me no more, even for the time being. Never be afraid to like fail. Not fail is such a harsh word, but like, don't be afraid of having the ups and downs. The ups are great, but the downs you've got to learn from as well. Like, there's so many times, like, I don't know, I can't attest for the other 2 guests, but like, you know, if I have one stream that does freaking amazing, I got loads of people talking, I got 3 raids in there, everyone's giving the bits and the subs, it's such amazing, and then the next stream then, I got like 3 people talking the entire time. It's literally happened in the middle of a stream where I'm like, oh, this is not going very well, and then I'm like, hang on now, oh, no. I'm doing this because of, like, I enjoy gaming, I enjoy talking to people, you know. Those 3 people have taken their time out of their day to talk to me. And to be fair, I've had more than one person in my community be like, oh, like, you've made me feel part of a community. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, like, and that person then could be talking to me for the 2 full hours that I'm streaming. But for me, I'm like, that's not... But for them, that's like the best thing in the world. And you have to remember that. You're putting the content out for them people, not for bloody, I don't know, Dr. Dre or something like that. I'm trying to hit people. I'm trying to hit all the things here now. By the way, if Dr. Dre, if you are listening to this, hit me up. I'm no musician, but I can try something.
We could find you one.
Yeah. Third one as well is like I said earlier, I like making people laugh. Just be like, the stuff you're putting in, just make sure it's authentic. It's not a character or something that you're putting on. Just be yourself. Even if, because I watch a lot of wrestling, and I've learned the best type of characters are yourselves just turned up. You know, it's authentically you. I am annoying, but I'm not this annoying. Don't ask Mrs. Quack. But don't ask Mrs. Quack. It's fine. If she does say anything, yeah, see it. Yeah, Mrs. Quack's already talking. I'm just going to ignore it. But yeah, just be authentically you. Don't. Like, you can follow trends all you want, but like Razor said as well, there might be something where someone goes, I don't like that. That's not the in thing. Well, bollocks to it. I like it. That is the in. That I like that. I want to go there. I'm not being funny. I'm streaming like games that came out about 4 years ago, and everyone's like, well, why are you streaming this? No one's watching this. Well, I don't particularly care. I want to play it, and I want to talk to people who are interested in it, because you never know. Like, I'm playing Far Cry 5 right now off stream, and I've got other people who've never played it now playing it, and I'm like, well, that worked. But yeah,
honestly, be yourself but turned up, honestly, will live in my head rent-free for the longest time. As if I'm already not enough as a person that I inconvenience most people that I'm around, my community and workspace. You turn this up, I become a fucking problem. Anyway, we'll leave it with one more question, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. Like I said, I'll give you guys a small shout out. You can tell us where we can find you. Mr. Slippers puts it out there. I would say Mrs. Quack had a question relating to advice for someone who likes to stream, finding it hard making content, and making... Sorry, let me just read her question without actually trying to paraphrase. What's your advice for someone who likes streaming but finds it hard to make content, like editing videos, for other platforms? I think we sort of touched on this sort of throughout the day. If you do work full-time and you do commit to full-time streaming, maybe it's just setting the better barriers to doing one video a week and then easing yourself into it. Where I was making one short a week, I had my pre-edits through Vegas. I know Vegas, don't shout at me. I was making my pre-mades through Vegas, but if I imported a video, everything worked. It already re-resolution everything. My cameras would be set into place. All of my titling would work. And then I was making 3 shorts a week because all of my properties were already set. Would you guys have a quick answer to that? How do you get to a point where you need to make additional content, but if you're finding it too hard, do you make a certain sacrifice here? Do you just sort of make a better realization that maybe you can't do as much as you'd like?
Go on.
No.
I usually say someone speak first, but everyone just all went at once. Go on, Quack. I'll let you go first. Go on.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do. I get very focused on certain things, and like I have to when I do my stream schedules, I have to make sure I take at least one day where I'm off. I'm off completely. Like, this week is Friday, and I said to Mrs. Quack, I'm like, look, I'm off Friday. We can do stuff, because knowing me, if I was left full time, I'd probably be doing something every single day. And Grace is nodding his head now, so I know it's a thing. I would literally be doing something every single day. I would be like, right, Monday I'm going to make YouTube videos. Tuesday I'm going to edit them. Wednesday, that's uploading day, and then I'm streaming all the time in between. And I'm like, I know this is going to sound really soft, and I really apologize, but Mrs. Quack, to be fair, she's my manager, because she keeps me on point, and she's like, right, you're doing too much now. To be fair, I do the same with her as well. But like, she'll have a go at me, and she'll be like, we haven't done anything in like 3 weeks. I'm like, oh shit, that's been 3 weeks. Oh, so like, I'm like, right, I need to make a day now where it's day off. Even if we don't do, she could be at work all day, but I can have a day off. I don't know, even if I just play games all day, but I'm not focused on making content. And that's why, like, when I'm making when I play games off stream, I have one specific game at a time, and I'm like, right, that is purely off stream, because I can do whatever the hell I want on that and spend as much time as I want on that. It's just that separation. You have to have it at some point, otherwise you will just burn yourself out very fast. And it's happened to way too many people for me. Some come back after a couple of weeks, some after a couple of months, some don't come back at all, which then I'm not being funny. Like, last year I lost like 3 of my favorite streamers, all because they just were like, nah, balls for this, I can't be bothered with it no more. Yeah, and it's sad. It's really sad.
But with
yeah.
with Grazer's continuous neck pain there, with the definite agreement, I feel like I'm gonna let you go next, Grazer, because I feel like you need to get that neck checked. So give us your 2 cents, and then you can rush to A&E.
No, it's just it was like listening to my a couple of years of my life being sort of played out in form there, because it's like, yeah, I've done that. I had exactly the same problems. Got so worked up and so tunnel visioned when it came to my content that pretty much nothing else mattered. And yeah, you do very, very, eventually you can be the most determined person in the world. You've only got so much energy, and and in the end, you're going to be like, I need to recharge. So with regards to, if you know you've got absolutely loads to do, make a schedule. But make sure that that schedule includes an evening, a day, or whatever, however often, but it includes something that where it basically goes, I am gonna do F all at this time. This is
So
for
much
me.
nodding.
This is not to make content. This is not like, oh, I need to plan or I need to sort of like do some investigations. Like, no, you do not do anything that's relating to your content. And I'll also slightly come back to another point that the advice I got. If you know you need to do editing and you don't know how to do it, reach out to somebody. I'm fairly sure you will probably find you might be surprised, you might actually know somebody, or if you've got a little bit of money, and you're able to afford to pay somebody, go out and find an editor and say, right, do this for me. I don't have time to do it for me, and here's my here's your fee, basically. So yeah, reach out to people if you know them, or just but just take advice, because there are a lot of nefarious people out there. So do your research before you do that as well. But yeah, I reach out to people, and if you can, again, get help and get others to take some of that workload, especially if it's what they do for a living and they specialize in that anyway.
Oh no, Mrs. Quack pulling the pregnancy card. Can we get a world's smallest violin for her, please? You can't do that. That's your wife.
And
No, to be fair, no, you can do it. I think
I
you
get
being
the
in
pass.
physical distance, yeah.
Anything, he gets more often to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, give it to Mrs. Q. I don't know why I'm trying to defend you. I've been shitting on you all stream.
Anything more, yeah.
Alex,
Oh, you pissed her off, Ross.
she knows where she doesn't know where I live. How would you go ahead and finding it difficult to create content? How would you go about making it work for you?
I find it difficult to make content anyway.
Fair.
I think, yeah, you've got to get a consistent balance. You've got to, get a schedule. You've got to make sure that it works for you. Something that works for you on a regular basis, and like a day or a time where you're not making stuff. You need your rest. Rest is so violently important. I know a lot of people who push themselves constantly, and they hit burnout, and it's just awful, because they lose all motivation and lose everything interesting wise. And I try to regularly go, I am taking a break. I am not doing this. I'm just going to work on, either I need to edit something or I need to just not do anything. I will go and happily sit on my armchair and read a book. And you know what? Or stick an audiobook in, or I'll take the dog for a walk. Let him run wild. And yeah, just little things that you can regulate and make sure that you can post and you can be consistent, but also make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because you and your mental health and your physical health take priority first. You can be on that grind, but you can also be well, because again, it comes through in your sound, it comes through on your camera, it comes through very violently, and people notice it very quickly. So take rests, but also make sure that you know how it works in your life. I'm hardcore on scheduling now. I have got a calendar. I've never had a calendar before. but it works. It works so well for me. Even like the little bits of time, like even if it's just like an hour, put it in your calendar. Put it with something where my phone notifies me every time, and just have that sort of so you can physically see something. So you don't have to just mentally, cause it clutters up there, and you need that detox to just not think about it.
Yeah, I thought you all nailed it. But I think Mrs. Q mentions it there in a short form. You can't take care of others unless you take care of yourself first, and you are number one in every regard. If you aren't your best, what's that thing my partner would say to me? If you can't take me at my groggiest, you can't take me at my froggiest, because she loves frogs. Now, I don't know I'd like how bad groggy being or how good froggy being, but I suppose, I've got a lover, haven't I? If we quickly segue into answers on something that Mr. Slippers had put down, which I think is very vital to maximizing your content, him asking, I have a question. In the first instance, I don't think numbers are too important, which I think if you start creating content, you should never look at that view count. That view count will be the most demoralizing thing you could look at. When it comes to maximizing content, do you guys actively track your analytics to trial and test what works for you? So again, just a bullet point thing, how you guys look at that. We'll start with Alex. Alex has the hand up first. Let us know what you think about analytics.
I hate numbers; they're evil. But it definitely does help, especially if, like, for me, I have a certain number of hit points that I go, right, that's something is successful. And I know if I hit that number, that's fine. That's successful. I can leave it. But it's that balance. It's don't become too obsessed, because the numbers are cruel, and they do not tell lies. And I ignore my view account because it is demoralizing, and it does hurt when you see that just the one, or especially on streams. It sucks, but I think as long as you're doing what you want to do and you're enjoying it, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter at all. I think as long as you know what's right for you, analytics shouldn't matter, because if your video gets like 20 views, that's still 20 people. That's a whole room of people. Like, don't be upset that it's not like 100,000, because one, that's a huge number. Whoa, I can barely deal with 5 people, let alone that many. And yeah, I have, like, to sort of pull back the curtain, if I have like a film that reaches 100 views on YouTube, that film was done well. I'm happy with that film. If it's reached 50 views, I know there's still more work to be done. On TikTok, if I know a video has reached 200 views, I know it's successful and I know it's done well. If anything above that, it's a bonus. And I've had to sort of go to myself, if a video doesn't do that well, then you can just, you know that you know what to improve from yourself, and don't try and take the numbers to heart, because it sucks. And and I used to be obsessed with numbers. I used to look at all the analytics all the time and go, okay, what's trending and what's this and what that, the other. Become obsessed with it. And it became an obsession, and it sucked, because that was just all I was looking at was numbers. So I think you gotta have what's right for you. So I have the numbers that I choose to obsess over, but also I know that they're just numbers. It's just they're not gonna hurt. They don't bite. And if I do see a video have 69 likes, 69 likes, I go, nice.
Yeah, that's a classic thing you need to do. Yeah.
But I'm just like, don't become too obsessed with it. But if you want to have like a barrier that works for you, find something that works for you, and you know what's best.
Nope, that's very bad. Following on to you, Grazer, how do you believe that your analytics play a major part with regards to you in the music industry?
I think it's more just the charts, just seeing how my tracks are doing. But again, I don't get massively. I try not to get massively hung up on how if a track doesn't quite do as well as I would like it to, because there are literally there are many reasons as to why a track hasn't done particularly well, and it's got nothing to do with the track at all. The track could be brilliant. It could be just that week you're up against well, again, up against other artists have released tracks, and these are maybe they're bigger, they're more well known, and with the state of the economy and costs and everything, buying music is not high on people's priority list, so they're going to go for what they're familiar with, and you can't blame them for that. So, but it's again, my analytics are sort of more just for, hey, how am I doing? Almost, saying going up against how am I doing in comparison to other artists? It's about the only objective measurement that I have, because music and art form is by and large very subjective. It's literally like the only objective measurement. I'm like, okay, how am I doing? And I'm like, just to give it like, for example, my most recent track is currently in the top 20. It's currently sitting at 24th in the Toolbox digital chart, which, given the fact that there's about that, I think that number of tracks that have been released over the last 10 days or so anyway, I'm actually really happy with. And again, that comes back to what Alex has said. It's like, that to me is a success. Like, heck, I'm in the top quarter of the top one of the chart on this website, which is like pretty much the go-to website for the genre that I make. I'm happy with that, and it's a good measurement. I'm like, okay, that, looking at what else has come out, I'm like, okay, that, maybe I need to do a little bit more of that sort of style, or that, or I could listen and go, no, I don't need to. This, I'm happy with it. I think numbers are about what you make them.
Yeah.
Streaming numbers is always it's always very difficult. When I look at, because I predominantly stream on other people's platforms at the moment, as opposed to my own channel. But yeah, it's more about just about seeing how, more of a gauge of how tracks are doing, as opposed to a hard and fast, absolute sort of set of rule that I'm going to follow. If it doesn't hit this, therefore nobody wants to listen to this kind of track, therefore I'm not going to make this kind of track anymore. It's like, no, you may have just released it at a really bad time when there's been some really amazing tracks that have come out at that same time, so it may not even be your fault. So yeah, that's how I use it. But again, as Alex said, I would be very, very careful on how you use those kind of numbers.
Numbers can be evil. I think a lot of people, especially when they start streaming, again, I feel like it's really bad to be saying just streaming, but that's my only experience. They do gauge on that viewership number way too much. And then but
it's what gets you the opportunities, because that's what sponsors look at.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I don't believe, I'm not bashing the statistics aren't necessary when people want to make that additional step into really reaching the more powerful entities in their spaces. But yeah, I think people sort of give up before they start to really try, which is sad, especially in the gaming sphere. I've seen more than a handful of people leave because they believe they are of an A caliber when they're sort of at a C caliber, but they're not willing to sort of take those steps and see where the analytics sort of take them. But in the gaming sphere, Quack, how do you deem your analytics to yourself?
I'm very much in the same ilk of I hate the numbers. When the devil. But when Mrs. Quack when she first started streaming, she used to stream on my name, and every now and again she would like see how many people are in her stream. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And like, if she sat next to me, she'll like lean over now and again, grab the mouse, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she'll see, and I'm like, I don't want to see how many people are in, because in my, like I said earlier, like, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm playing God of War, I'm playing whatever, and I'm like, I'm engrossed in it. I'm like, I'm enjoying it. People are chatting, yeah, whatever. And then in my head, 20,000 people could be in, 4 could be in, and I'll be like, I don't really care because I'm happy in the bubble that I'm in. And then if I just hover over, oh, there's 2 people in chat. And it really just bursts my balls. Only because then I feel like people are not interested in it, or they're like, I'm not engaging enough, and then I'm trying to in my head trying to adapt on the fly, and I'm like, perhaps like I don't know what I'm doing. Perhaps I'm just like, and like Razor said, it could just be I've done it at the wrong time. Maybe people are busy. You know, something could be on that is on TV. I know one of my own mods would never come into my stream on Saturday because Dancing with the what's it called? Not Dancing with the Stars. That's the American one.
Strictly, not strictly.
Yeah, Strictly. She said, don't bother. She was like, don't rely on me on Saturdays for streaming. I was like, why? She was like, Strictly's on. I went, right. And I said, what if you're the only mod available? She was like, no, Strictly comes before you. I'm like,
then you're strictly without a mod.
yeah. And if you ever do watch this on the YouTube, Grumble Bunny, thanks for that.
Great shout out.
Yep. But yeah, I don't, and like with YouTube, if I could turn off how many people have watched that video, it would make my life so much happier because I'd rather not know. Because, like I say, I can do a video because I've got nothing to bounce off. I think because there's one in particular. I'm not going to plug my own YouTube, but there's one in particular with a troll that I spent 15 minutes trying to beat, and all I had to do was run past it. To me, I was like, that is comedy gold. That is amazing. And when I look, like, I could go on in now and I just be like, because that's worth like at least 100 views. It's brilliant. It's nice and short. I'm within this algorithm, but like 12 people have viewed on it. But on the flip side, hence why I have to remind myself regularly, like Alex said, those 12 people, that's a lot of people to watch that. I can stream to 2 people, but like I say, that can make their day. I even had someone in my stream today saying my week feels weird if I don't watch you stream. I'm like, that means to be fair, it probably makes their week worse, but whatever.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I got there before you. I know what you're trying to do now. But like that can, you know, the fact that me just sitting in my chair with my gonks and my Fimbala collection can make someone, you know, either make or break someone's week. I'm like, Jesus, like that's the type of not power, but like that's the type of thing that to be fair, that's what I want, and hence why, like, if I could be massive streamer, I would love to do that because then I can make more people happier. And like even Mrs. Quack said, you know, it's what you deem successful. So like, you know, like Razor said, he's in top quarter of the chart, which, you know, that's amazing to me because like from what he's telling me, I'm like, holy Jesus, that's really, really good. And he should be super proud of it. Some other big top whatever can come in and go, oh, is that it? And I'm like, well, no, because that's what he deems successful. And that it, like, we all here can be like, well done. Because we understand and we haven't lost that passion for what we want. You know, when I try something different, I try it 3 or 4 times at different periods of whenever, like different times of day, different whatever. I might do like this week on my streams, I'm doing nothing but like working with multiplayer games, and you know that might work because I'm mainly a solo story type streamer. That might, you know, it might be a new avenue that I've opened that I didn't think would work for me before, but it might not. Oh well, win some, lose some. Hence why I always say, you know, just don't take yourself serious, because once you start taking once you taking it too serious, all the fun's gone then, isn't it? It's a job then, isn't it?
I want to quickly come back to YouTube because it's something that something's just very quickly going in my head about maybe a sort of indication as to a possible way to use numbers. Is going back to the fact that I very recently put my DJ streams up on YouTube now, and the numbers are eclipsing anything I've ever achieved on YouTube. I've actually got a couple of my DJ streams now. I've got like over 100 views, which is just insane for anything that I do. And I'm like, okay, maybe there is something that people want to actually watch the video and not just listen to the music. So now I need to make sure that I am recording every set now so I can then put it up on YouTube. But the numbers in terms of like, okay, it's only 100 or 100 is amazing. The fact is it's doing better than my previous stuff. So maybe with numbers, you just need to. I'm not sure how the guys feel about. You can't without context, without a comparison to your previous stuff. Maybe we shouldn't get too hung up on high numbers.
No, totally.
And of course, it's about being real with your numbers as well. Let's face it. Like I say, we're not going to be doing all these major things just because. Well, you never know. One of us might get it, and if you do, remember.
I'm
me.
not even allowed to run ads on YouTube because I'm not big enough.
Yeah, but you know, one day we might do it. So we like for me personally, I don't know how you guys feel, but like I have to have more of a realistic. I have like the Twitch streamer one day. I'll be on TwitchCon and I'll be there going, "Hey, remember me?" But that's probably not going to happen. So let's bring that down a couple of notches. And then I like to have mini goals every year. You know, I'm not this type of person who puts. This year I want 2,000 followers. Brand new followers. I'm like, if I can hit 1,000, landed. If I'm not, all right, man, no worries.
God, we have to end on Quack talking. Oh, what a great creators of the donut table. Thank you, Quack. Don't make that face, man. We were having a beautiful discussion, and we ended on
You
that.
invited me on it. Actually, I lied, didn't I? Asked.
No, you asked, and I kindly gave you an audience to come with, so you're welcome. It's all love. It's all chat. I just want to say out loud, chat. I'm so sorry. It's all love here. There's just love.
Not feeling it.
Yeah, that's fine. It wasn't really sort of like a back and forth exchange. But I want to thank all of you for coming on this evening and say we're going to wrap it up there. We usually do up to a 2-hour session. Usually the last questions that sort of come later are usually crap. So we don't usually involve them after 2 hours because we're already closed. So no more questions in chat. I don't want to know. You will be banned, so don't ask any questions. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you a minute or two to plug wherever it is you'd like us to award your status to. So on the descriptions, we'll notify you, maybe if it's a Twitter or, as you mentioned, SoundCloud. Plug yourselves. We'll start with Alex. Short plug. Go.
I am Alex Can't Play on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I am I'm looking at my bar. LOWestern on YouTube as well. So that's l.a.western. That's my main YouTube channel, and check out my films on Continuity Error UK.
Brilliant. Grazer, less than a minute. Plug. Go.
Just go to Twitter, go to Grazer J here. There is a pinned tweet which has a link to every single one of my socials.
A man of proficiency. Love it. Quack, you got a minute, please. 60 seconds. Go.
I'm Quack my Panda. Everything's Quack my Panda. Follow me. I'm sorry for if you actually enjoy my content. I will reimburse you.
I will reimburse you. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm going to go to a quick segment now where I'm going to directly talk to the chat again like I did in the introduction. So they're going to get a bit more of me, but feel free to chill in the Discord. I'll pop back to you guys later. Wave goodbye as I mute you, and I will be back with you very, very, very soon. Oh, what lovely people. I couldn't ask for better people to come into this, but you know what? I could have asked for a better person if someone wanted to come in and replace Quack. You know? Great. Just catching this? Listen, I don't know what Mrs. Q wants to do, but Mrs. Q shouldn't be asking for that kind of thing when her husband is in my chat. But we will be raiding out. If there's any last minute things you guys want to throw towards, what we can usually do is we'll collectively make any questions. I'll sort of store them somewhere and bring them onto the next panel. Or what we might do, if more people want to be questioning a particular topic, we might make some shorts content. We might put a question out to the community, giving them a question, and it gives them the opportunity to then be broadcast on our TikToks, on our YouTubes, and whatever it is we decide to put on forward. So more of like a one-question self-seminar that you guys can get involved in without needing to hear me. So we are going to be looking to raid out. So please, if you've got someone in mind, hit the redeem. Give me a name. First come, first serve, and we will look to raid out and end this stream on a banger, because I believe that's probably been the best Creators of the Donut Table I've ever hosted. I'd watch you in shorts. I don't wear shorts. If these calves come out in the daylight, too many people get pregnant. It's really a hard-hitting thing for me to discuss out loud. And yeah, I'm not allowed to do that. So, yeah. I'm going to look to see who's available. If there's no one that wants to put forward a request, let's look at the old Streamseed Arena. Is there anyone that we can give the good old raid to? Adam Sparty, come on now. Is this your first time here? You should know what I'm like. I'm a naughty little man. Any raids, chat? Chat? Any raiders? Any bidders? Any subbers? Any primers? We could go to Lioness. Have we been to Lioness before? That's the first one I can think about going to. Lioness. Have we raided thou before? I believe Lioness recently won Clip of the Week, I believe, with a very creative and fun way of being eliminated in Fall Guys. I was going to call Lioness. No, you didn't. That was me. All me. So there's the raid counter. Guys, throw some love to Lioness. We usually have a raid message, but I haven't sort of prepared one. I will actually do that now. I'm going to do this. You've, and then been, and then, there's too many hearts. Blessed. This is the raid message that I usually give, but in all honesty, I use my face. So that's probably what I'm going to put over. So we're going to give us some love. Feel free to chat. Feel free to put out there. My name is Adam Sparty, same person, but listen, it's okay. It's okay. But you should have known me by now. But I want to thank you all so much for coming along, and a very special thanks to Alex Can'tplay, Quackhammer Panda, and Grazer J. Again, this will be a VOD that we put onto YouTube, and all of the links will be put into the description. So if you guys want to catch them on their socials, please do so. And we're going to go give Lioness some love. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next month.